things is the native bison, which once thundered across the plains in vast herds. Until the mid-19th century, North America's bison were the most numerous large mammals on the face of the earth. The native Indians lived off them, but once the Indians were rounded up into reservations, the bisons were devastated by white hunters. Now they're making a comeback, as the late David Holden discovered when he spoke to Chuck McCutcheon of the Albuquerque Journal.
Actually, it's just been within the last few years. Ted Turner, who's the owner of cable news network CNN, and his wife, Jane Fonda, recently bought a ranch in southern New Mexico called the Ladder Ranch with the intention of raising buffalo on it. And from what I understand, they're in the process of trying to purchase another ranch on which they also may run buffalo. And it's caused a considerable amount of hand-wringing and controversy among some of the cattle ranchers in the state. For one thing, they're concerned about a disease called brucellosis, which buffalo can transmit to cattle. Another thing about buffalo is that obviously they roam, and there was some concern about the buffalo roaming onto neighboring ranches and interfering with those ranches' operations. I, however, am not aware of any problems that Turner has had on his ranch to date, and I think we could see a few more of those ranches. Given what I do know, they're starting to flourish in the Midwest and moving to places like Virginia, where they haven't lived for centuries. So given that buffalo meat does make good business, it gets $3 to $5 a pound and has less than 50 calories an ounce and is considered very nutritious, it could in fact catch on. But I don't think that the cattle ranchers are going to be switching over overnight, with cattle ranching being such an entrenched business.
Is this a fad, though, because the United States is notorious for just locking on to whatever is new and going hell for leather with it? Do you see it as that?
I think it's too soon to tell, really.
Because the arguments that are being put forward for farming buffalo or ranching buffalo is that they're sort of what's supposed to be out there to begin with. You know, they're the original grazing animal out there. And I guess they're perceived as more environmentally friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from what I understand, they are considered much more environmentally friendly, especially compared to cattle, which have sort of, in the public's eye, or at least the environmentalists' eye, have not received great press within recent years. There was a recent book written called Beyond Beef, which talked about some of the evils of cattle degrading the environment and things like that. So in that sense, it may well catch on. Given, though, that people like beef, regular beef, it could take a while for it to really catch on and grow beyond its currently small status.
Have you got restaurants where you are in Albuquerque that are serving buffalo meat?
I can only think of a couple right now, and I haven't actually had any there. The one time I did try buffalo was in Denver at a restaurant which is well known for serving buffalo and elk and antelope and various other steaks. And I remember I had something called a buffalo Reuben, which in which the buffalo slices replaced the corned beef that is more commonly prevalent on a Reuben, and it was quite good.
And the taste, let me guess, it tastes like chicken.
More like a salty or sharper roast beef.
You can easily try a taste test yourself. Tesco are selling buffalo steaks and burgers imported from Canada, and in Britain there's a newly formed British Bison Association, and 10 herds, ranging in size from a modest 3 bison to a herd in Wiltshire numbering 55. Carla, are you glad that buffalo or bison is now available here?
Well, being American, I feel very romantic about buffalo.